Hey, welcome back to our study of the Cold War. In this section, we're going to continue on with Truman's policy of containment and take a look at the Truman Doctrine as well as the Marshall Plan. As in our last section, we talked about how Eastern Europe, Western Europe was kind of divided with the Western Europe being controlled by England, France, United States, and rebuilding that part of the country, and then Russia was controlling Eastern Europe and spreading its influence into what we call satellite nations. Just a quick definition of Cold War: conflict between the United States and the Soviet Union in which neither nation directly confronted the other on the battlefield. Become close, that's further down the road, but no fighting takes place during what's known as the Cold War. Our foreign policy essentially dominates, or the Cold War will dominate, U.S. foreign policy from 45 to 91. And the reason 91 is important is because that is the breakup of the Soviet Union into what we currently have today, the country being known as Russia. Again, two major directives come out of this foreign policy: the Truman Doctrine and the Marshall Plan. With Stalin apparently spreading his influence across Eastern Europe, the policy of containment is put into place, and the United States and England decide to make a stand in two major areas of Europe: Greece and Turkey. Now, England had been supporting Turkey and Greece, both areas, financially, but England suffered a massive amount of damage during World War II, and they requested that the United States take over responsibility of helping Turkey and Greece prevent the spread of communism into their country. So we're looking at these two areas here, Turkey and Greece, and you can see the political cartoon with Stalin and the Soviet Union spreading their influence into satellite countries. We want to prevent this. The United States wants to prevent the spread of communism into those two countries. And Truman has a quote, which I believe is on the next slide. Yeah, it must be the policy of the United States to support free peoples who are resisting attempted subjugation by armed minorities or outside pressures. Basically, they're resisting a takeover. If we have free people of the world who want to resist being taken over by a larger political or military power, then it's the United States policy to support that. So, U.S. does agree to take over financial and military support for Greece and Turkey, and between 1947 and 1950 we give over $400 million in economic and military aid, and this assistance does greatly reduce the danger of communist takeover. Here's a little slide, or a little diagram, to show you just in Turkey what the United States gave to Turkey. We were giving them former U.S. subs, or subs that we had used and are not necessarily outdated, but we are continuing to build up our military. So these are probably some older subs, tanks and guns, again from World War II era, as well as planes to help with the Turkish Air Force. We also sent over a 500-man contingent to help train Turkish forces, and then economically over $1 billion in aid being sent to just Turkey alone. Again, that's the that's the Truman Plan to help prevent the spread of communism in Greece and Turkey. Now, Marshall Plan was a non-military plan. General Marshall had the idea to help out Western Europe in general, not just two specific countries like Greece and Turkey. Western Europe was in chaos, a lot like Greece and Turkey, but the chaos here we're seeing is starvation and homelessness and just complete, utter damage from the war. So Secretary of State Marshall has the idea to provide relief to all of Europe, and he said this move is not against any country or doctrine, but rather against hunger, poverty, desperation, and chaos, just to help these people who are essentially refugees. 16 countries, 4 years, $13 billion in aid, and through the Marshall Plan we see a huge success. By 1952, Western Europe was flourishing, and because of that, Europe's able to get back on its feet. But also here at home, the United States production and agriculture in factories and in agriculture production is greatly impacted. We supply what Western Europe needs. So throughout the 1950s, early 50s especially, we have a huge economic boom because we are providing what Western Europe needs. And here's a good diagram to show you the Western European countries and what kind of aid they received from the United States during this time. And these numbers are in billions. Excuse me. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Enjoy. Bye.